Unveiled. I'm Aoife, and today I'm joined by the very best Jonah Hawthorne.
I'm the best.
Thank you. He's
Thank
a
you.
cinema and screen studies major, and also transfer student. Jonah, welcome.
It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so before we get started, we want to watch your clip of a film called Shelter that you directed and produced yourself, so take a look.
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean?
But I just wanted to ask you about it. Can you give the audience an idea about what it's about generally?
Yeah. So I wanted to use the basement of my house to make like a bunker kind of movie, something that felt apocalyptic. This guy, he's staying underground, hiding from the world as noises from the outside, booms, rattles, pounding against the walls, sort of increase his anxieties as he gets sort of more jumpy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I feel like from even what you just said, like the film is pretty intense. Like, is there like I wouldn't say like a hidden meaning, but like what's like your inspiration or like the meaning behind it?
Yeah, so as a transfer, I came off of a gap year from any kind of college, and I commute here. And what I found is there's this very isolating feel you have transferring schools. It's like, do I even want to build connections if I have this fear that I'm just going to start over again, even at this new place? What if this doesn't work out? And so I wanted to kind of harness those feelings I had of like sheltering or walling yourself off into something, into a film I made.
Okay. So, and like you just said, you filmed it in the basement. I feel like one that really adds to like the closed-in space. I mean, like it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable just even like watching it because, you know, to see what the character is going through and just being in that space. But did you find it really hard to film in your basement? Was there a lot of like stuff?
I did. So it came from a few issues. One is to get that really tight, claustrophobic feel, I went for a lot of close-up shots, which meant I had to bring some light kits together and the camera all in these tight, enclosed spaces.
Oh yeah.
So I almost knocked one of my equipment. I won't say which. I don't want the school getting mad at me. But you know, I could have knocked stuff over, and I was using all cables, so that was definitely a challenge.
I also noticed, like, since it is your basement of your home, I noticed there was, like, I don't even know if this was intentional, but there was, like, baby pictures and, like, cans and kind of, like, stuff from, like, I guess probably your childhood. Like, was that intentional or did that just, like, happen by accident?
It was. I'll say in the sense I didn't place anything where it wasn't already. You know, that stuff was there before and it's going to be there after. But instead I intentionally staged scenes at parts of my house that I wanted to turn into props into scenes. So I thought having baby pictures on the walls or kid projects would be a great way to develop this guy as you start to wonder, is this him when he's younger? Did he have a kid and something happened to his kid? It brings all these questions that make you more intrigued about the character.
Right, kind of like a backstory that we don't really get to see, but like you can like wonder about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know you also mentioned this to me like off camera. That's your dad.
It is my father, who is an Oswego alumni.
No, he was a really good like person to get for the film. Honestly, like I was really shocked. Like he was really good. I was
too. I mean, I knew he was a theater kid in his youth, but I didn't expect all these years later for him to still retain that like actor energy. And I mean, you saw in the clip we shared his eyes pop out. He is full of fear on his face, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, that was like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the film. I honestly, like, I feel like with things that I like watching, like they're pretty lighthearted and stuff, and sometimes I think it's really good to see something so, I don't know, and even for like a student film, I thought it was really interesting how you made something so, like just like your basement in your house and like what you had. I don't know, like you made it seem so real. Like I don't know.
Thank you.
I'm like rambling, but no, it was really interesting. And I also I know the audience didn't see it, but I like how, I will spoil it, in the end, he gets a knock on the door, and then after being in that bunker space for so long, he gets like a gift.
Yeah.
What was that like originally what you planned for him, like to be
not.
stuck there, or no?
I admittedly was going to do something that was too edgy for the end. It was going to be, he goes out and you hear some commotion, some very violent noises, and it's like maybe he doesn't make it. And what our professor pointed out to me is that's exactly what you expect. Everyone expects a film like that to end without any definitive answer, and it's not too satisfying because it's just like, why would he even leave in the first place? Great, he leaves and he gets hurt. Your theme is now stay sheltered. So she offered that he gets apples, and I happen to have an apple tree at my house. Yeah, so we picked some really fresh apples for the season, and it really worked. I used a very blue color scheme, and it helped the red pop out. And like you said, by him getting a gift, not only does it make it more interesting because you start to wonder, is this actually an apocalypse movie? Is he agoraphobic or going through something and there's someone taking care of him? It also has what I find a more meaningful message in that if you open yourself up, or if you can brave through the walls or the shelter you put up around yourself to hide from the world, you can get rewarded.
Yeah, no, that's actually really, I don't know, like a really good theme. Before we toss the break, I have to ask, did you end up eating those apples?
No, my dog did.
Oh.
My dog loves apples, and if you put one anywhere near her, she goes insane.
Oh my goodness.
They were not ripe enough.
Was she on your crew?
I wish she was.
Aw.
I wish she was. She's too crazy. And she's a baby, child actors.
How old is she?
Less than a year.
Oh yeah, so she is a child actor. She has certain hours.
I don't want to expose her to the cruel world yet.
Yeah, she can't be on set for too long.
Yeah.
But one last thing, would you have your dad act in your film again, you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
In a heartbeat.
I mean, he was really good. I don't think my dad would brave.
Well, I was afraid to ask him, and I am so glad I did. I would say, if you are making a film and you're afraid to ask for help, just ask.
What did he say when you asked?
He was on board from the second I
really?
asked. He said, I absolutely want to do this. This sounds fun.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I do like your message about asking for help with a film. I even asked my housemates for help with a project, and I thought they were gonna say no, and they were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like that's.
You lose nothing by asking.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm gonna say stay tuned for more after the break.
With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTLP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTLP.
Welcome back to Creativity Unveiled. I'm Aoife, and today I'm sitting here with Jonah. Hi, Jonah.
How's it going? Good to be
So
back.
let's just get right into it. I noticed that you mentioned wanting to be a voice actor or a voiceover artist in the past. Have you done any projects like that?
You know, when I wanted to do that, I was just coming off of high school, and my favorite YouTubers were voiceover artists, and it just sounded like such a cool job to me. And what I found is I would try to record myself saying some kind of monologue or maybe a meme or something, and I just couldn't listen to my voice again. I learned quickly that it just wasn't for me, unfortunately, which is too bad.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I'm an audio major and a broadcast major, or an audio minor rather. So I do a lot of work where I have to like listen to myself, but it's very difficult, so I do not blame you.
And when you listen to just audio in general, especially people talking, you start picking up on things that like are so minute that you don't hear it in everyday when you're talking. Like how you might pronounce like S or something. Mm-hmm. It just sticks out at you and it drives you crazy.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about your experience on a feature film. I know you worked on one like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And you told me it was quite the experience, if you'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, I won't say the name of the film, but I'll go into good detail. At my last school, I had an on-campus job where I was fortunate enough to be in a media production company on campus that did nothing major. I shouldn't say that. We were able to work on some competitions, like advertisement competitions, a 50-year celebration for the school.
You said this was a job, not a class.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I did get paid to do this. And the person who ran it was a professor at the school, and he approached all of us in the summer of 2023 and said he had his pre-production done for a feature he wrote. He has his location, or he didn't have his location. He had the script done, and he had his ducks in a row. He had his producer, he had his executive producer, and he was ready to go. And he said, "You guys have been a great team. I want to put you all on my project." This is every film student's dream. Mm-hmm. We all jumped on. It was a horror film. It wasn't too long. I want to say 90 to 100 pages, and it was very simple. Followed a couple of people having a nice summer vacation before getting stalked and sort of in this very tense situation. And we went out into the forest of my old college, and
oh, not the forest.
This is quickly where I found out you got to be careful when you're a college student, because a lot of people will present you with dubious opportunities.
Oh, I see.
I should say. The first red flag.
Oh man.
Well, where do I start? One is, interestingly enough, I'm trying to hold back a lot of information I say, but I even checked my email before this to make sure we didn't sign an NDA that I know of. I don't think we even signed contracts. I don't think he gave us contracts to sign. So, for all intents and purposes, I could probably say all kinds of stuff about it and not really be held. But I'm not going to.
Yeah, let's be mindful.
We are. But that's one point, right? Is that's not very professional.
Yeah.
And showing up to set, there was no safety officer. This is a huge thing you should have on any professional set. Lights are very dangerous. You can electrocute yourself. You can burn yourself. Cars, there were prop weapons in the movie.
Not bananas.
Not bananas.
Oh,
and you do want to have either an officer on set or inform local law that you are doing this. There was no safety officer, and we were just jumping into productions, and people did get hurt.
That's not good.
It's not. We had a beautiful station wagon for this film, and it had rained every day, which, oh my goodness. Filming in the rain is a nightmare. You're putting garbage bags on all the equipment so it doesn't fall apart. We're outside.
Oh my.
And the forest gets muddy. And our director, who is also our professor, wants us to push this car through the mud to get to where he wants to shoot.
There's nothing like being, oh my God. So there's nothing like, you know, doing like a shoot and it takes like 4 hours and you're like tired and hungry.
These were 16-hour work days.
So there's nothing like being in a space and like doing the same thing over and over again for like, you know, a prolonged period of time. But when it's bad weather too on top of it, that sounds like a miserable time.
There were times we had to completely shut down production because of a thunderstorm, which I'm glad we did. Some of us worried that the professor would say, if you don't keep working, I'll fire you. Luckily, it didn't get that crazy, but you know, if there's a thunderstorm, if it's within 5 miles, the last strike, you gotta wait 30 minutes.
Definitely. Were there any aspects of the film besides this, all these things, that you like really enjoyed? Like you got experience and stuff.
Yeah.
But like at what cost, I guess?
The safety issues aside, it was a really cool experience. And I want to say my favorite part of the set was the actor for our villain. He was fantastic. You know, my job wasn't anything glamorous. I was in the head of the craft department, which means food. You know, I was helping feed the crew. I had a tent set up that was their kind of rest stop, you know, taking care of everyone, going out on set, getting them waters and stuff, making coffee. And he was so sweet. You know, he came right up to me. He came up to everyone, doesn't matter what their job was, shook their hand, got to know them. And I remember looking at his headshot and thinking, this is the scariest person I've ever seen. He's going to be so mean. You know, what if I make his coffee wrong? Happiest guy I've ever met.
Wow. No, that's good. I mean, I feel like it's the people on the set that kind of make, or not make or break the film, but like it definitely puts a damper on things when you don't like the people you're working with or people are a little difficult. So it's good to hear that.
Especially after it was a 14 days straight, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of those 14 days, it really tests who you get along with and who you don't so much.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I haven't been on a 16-hour film, but I empathize with you because that sounds really not fun.
Yeah.
But
and I will say, I loved everyone on the crew. It was like we were a family, and you know, with all these bad conditions, it was good to have people you could rally together with for support, because it was a hard experience. People had breakdowns, people had troubles, or we were even going through stuff in the background, and everyone was there for each other.
Well, that's really good to hear. So when we come back from break, we're going to talk more about what Jonah's doing in the future. Stay tuned.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West 1st Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see? All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free.
Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Aoife, I'm sitting here with the lovely Jonah. So before we get into any more questions, we wanted to show your whole film. Was that something you'd be down for?
I'm absolutely all for it. Thank you so
All
much.
right, take a look at Jonah's film. It's called Shelter. All right, we're back. Jonah, that was amazing.
I'm so proud of how that came out.
I never get sick of watching it. I've seen it like 3 times now, so.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Really quick, did you enjoy working on it?
I did. At first, I was super duper stressed because I wasn't working with any group mates.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me and my dad. But it was a really good bonding experience. And I remember after, yeah, and you were saying this while it was rolling, is you had a favorite shot when he runs, grabs the bat, turns out the lights, and then it's just his flashlight.
yeah.
I remember when we got that shot, we were cheering. Like, we were just kind of screaming,
No, it was
waking
a really
up the
cool
dog.
shot. No, I like every time I see it, I'm like, it looks so like spooky almost, like a little ominous. No, it's amazing. So before we go, can you tell everybody your Instagram handle and your upcoming project?
Yeah, you can follow me at Jonah K. Hawthorne on Instagram, JONAHKHAWTHORNE, all lowercase. My next coming project, I've worked actually with someone who's on the crew here, Austin, and some other people from class. And
Austin.
We made a really, yeah, he was awesome. He's actually starring in it.
Oh, okay.
He's such a good actor. Oh my God.
Plug in Austin. You hear that,
yeah.
Austin?
But we did a really fun comedy of two guys playing pool, and they keep one-upping each other with crazier and crazier poses. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see it. So, well, thank you, Jenna, for joining us. I had a great time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for that. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.